But you know, before we got through that, you talked to us about the people who kind of mentored you and your
Yes.
influences to getting there. And I think that that's something that is very crucial to point out. You know, with Coach Joe's case, when the going got tough, he really went to look at not really the technical aspect, not really the basketball side, but he went into and got the support from his family. And I think that's an excellent point because people out there, those who don't know, they look as coaches as, you know, machines
Yes,
or
yes.
robots, and that, you know, we should be able to take all these things. They forget the human aspect. And I think the story of Coach Joe is really very special in that sense, that basically it was your humanity going to your family and coaching, going back to who you are,
Yes.
who you are as a coach. To all the aspiring coaches out there, there's no harm, there's no problem studying all the great coaches, picking up offenses here and there, but in the end, you have to coach according to who you are. And Coach Joe, when you had that realization and you coached this year according to who you are, bringing back Blue Eaglets basketball, did it get easier? Was it more fun?
It actually, all my assistant coaches, hats off to them, were telling me that 3 years before pa. That I start, bring it back, I mean, be yourself, enjoy lang, don't pressure the boys too much. So, I mean, sorry, I'm stubborn as,
Yeah.
I'm also a stubborn person. So, sabi ko, no, okay lang yan. Well, we had a talk before the season started. Sabi ko, whatever happens now, at least I can say that I won't second guess myself, because the past 2 years I've been second guessing. Dapat pala ganito yung ginawa ko. Dapat pala ganito. At least at the end of the day, if I won or lose this season, at least I could say
your own way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I keep reminding coaches who come to me with that kind of a dilemma, and I keep telling them, you gotta do it your own way, because whether you do it your own way or not, whatever your management wants to do, they want to fire you, they want to let you, they're gonna do it anyway.
Yes.
So might as well go out on your own terms. If you win with that, congratulations. If you lose with that, at least when you step out, you have the satisfaction of saying, I did it the best way I knew how I did it my way. If it didn't pan out, then it just wasn't meant to be. But I'm very glad that came out, Coach Joe. So in that team, how did that affect your relationship specifically with your big three? I mean, you have Mike and Matt Nieto, you have
Well,
Jolo
first things
Mendoza.
first, for me, yes, the big three were instrumental, but I have to give credit to everyone, especially those that had little playing time, because the secret of this team, honestly, was the closeness of each other. They were really bonded together. We were actually one of the smallest teams coming to the UAP this year. But our bond, we were the youngest team, because in Ateneo naman, it's
Yes,
17
of
or
course,
16-year-old kids.
Mas bata.
Yes, so we were really bonded together. That was our secret. Everybody was doing roles. They didn't care if they played or not, as long as they were a part of the team.
As long as they were contributing. Yes.
With regards to the big three, well, the coaching staff decided to build around the big three. Let's say, for example, we needed defensive players. We built around defensive players. We needed shooters to kick out to when Jolo or Matthew
collapsed
drove.
on, yeah.
So that's what we built. We built the big three around.
You know, I've been around them. I was with them a little bit when they had their training camp in Las Vegas with Coach Jamike with the national team, and you know, those three guys, they're excellent. They're talented players. But I think the one thing that struck me was they're very mature. They have a very strong work ethic, and you know, all coaches know this. If you have your best players to be among your hardest workers, that makes things easier for a coach. Mike Nieto, how can you explain his value from your perspective, not from what people see from the outside, but from your?
He's the reason why we won a championship.
Bakit?
He's sobrang glue guy niya. I mean, lahat ng tao, mahal siya. He makes it a point that he knows the problems of all his teammates. He makes everyone laugh. He makes sure that everyone's bonded. If they have a problem, he'll text me. He'll talk to his teammates. He sacrifices, even if he doesn't have to score or he does the dirty work, he'll do it just to win. I was talking to Coach Jamaica as well. The FIBA, in this
Yeah,
FIBA Asia,
FIBA.
that's the reason why he made Mike Nieto his captain also, because Mike Nieto was was the glue guy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was very evident in their practice in Las Vegas, the maturity, the level of maturity of Big Mike Nieto, and he's really, as Coach Joe had mentioned, really the glue guy and the team captain.
And when he
right?
spoke,
Yes.
yeah, when he spoke, everybody followed. I mean, there are people kasi, there are players kasi when he speaks, sino ka ba? I mean, diba? You
Yeah.
do the work first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's really
Not
respected.
so with
yeah.
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Matt?
Matt, well, Matt, for me, one of the smartest players coming out of college now, a head point guard. He'll definitely, when he matures, when he gets older, he'll definitely be a force in college basketball and then eventually the PBA.
And of course, the finals MVP, Joloman. Everybody knows, everybody watches his obvious skills, but what is it in him that sets him apart, that makes him special?
There's a newspaper that interviewed me that told me what I can say about Joel Mendoza. I told that newspaper, that editor, that Joel Mendoza is the future of Philippine basketball. His work ethics, very good. Smart player, wants to learn, but most of all, very disciplined and very, very humble.
And you have him for one more
Yes,
year coming back. Well, that's gotta be a
Thankfully.
great feeling.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gotta be a great feeling. As coaches, we're only as good as our players, really. And if we have players who have great character, then it goes a long way towards building strong teams. I liked what Coach Joe said, that they were one of the shortest teams in the league, but they were the closest, and they were a true team. We like to say always in Gilas, we're family first, even before we're brothers first, even before we're teammates. And I think that goes a long way towards forming strong championship teams. What do you think now? How does the future look for Blue Eagles basketball?
Well, there are five that are leaving, only 5 that are leaving. I still have 10 holdovers, and I'm pretty sure that Ateneo High School will be able to replace those that are.
Yes, palagi marami
Yeah,
naman
palagi,
tayong
yes.
players. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we're hoping that we can defend the crown next year. I've talked to Jolo, and that's what he told me, Coach, let's defend the crown next year. So, we're hoping the future looks bright for Blue Eagles basketball, and we want to keep the crown where it rightfully is in Leon
Correct.
Heights.
Yeah. Ano ba yan? 18
yes,
title
yes.
na natin. So we're going for the 19. We talked earlier about the lessons you learned from those defeats. Now, what are the lessons you learned from that victory? How you said that it affected you personally, the losing seasons. Now, how does this championship affect you personally as well?
Well, number 1, always lift everything up to God. That's what I've learned. Number 2, always be thankful for those who supported you during your darkest times.
Yeah.
Number 3, it's always the best to be yourself,
Correct.
to do things your way.
So the victory essentially this year validated the decisions that you made at the
Yes.
start of the year. Laking bagay na. How about you personally for Joe Silva? What's in store? What's next?
Well, I'm the type of person that waits for the blessings to come. I don't want to force myself. Whatever God throws my way, let's see.
Are you doing anything else aside from coaching? Do you have other
Well,
jobs,
I have
businesses?
I'm working for the family business, but I'm really full time with coaching because I'm also part of the seniors.
Yeah, I know, the
staff.
seniors,
So,
assistant, yeah.
So it's really, I think this is really what I want to do. So talagang I want to put 110% into it.
Yeah, I always, even when Alex Compton was here, we had that discussion about, he had a bad experience. He lost a game 7 by one possession, and I said, this is where you will really find out if you want to coach. Coming back from a situation like this. For you, we're very pleased to see that those 3 seasons, those 3 years didn't go as planned, but you stuck with it, and now the 4th gave you your first championship. Sarap ng tikim ng championship, di ba?
Sobra,
So,
Coach, sobra.
gusto mo ulit-palagi,
Sobra,
ulit-ulitin.
yes, Coach, yes, Coach.
You and people are saying, what's gonna come after that first, and they don't understand. Us coaches will live for these moments,
Yes, Coach, yes,
for these times. And I don't know about you, but for me as a coach, it's to see our players, blossoming and being able to
That's for
to
me,
do
that's the
things.
most important, Coach.
Yun talaga yung
Yes.
satisfaction
Yes.
natin sa atin, di ba? What are you looking for now if you're going to look at your team? Speaking, I know it's too early, but looking at the next season, what are the needs for your
Of
team?
course,
coming
of
in?
course, it will be. I'll be very happy if I have a lot of big men. But it's very hard to look for big men here in the
Yeah, it's hard,
in the Philippines. So, kasi I mean, ever since naman, I'm sure you know this, Coach Chot, guards come and go sa Ateneo. They're always
Dime a
they're
dozen,
present.
always, yeah.
It's really hard to look for big men.
The
so,
big
yeah.
men. So that's ang nangyayari naman sa atin sa Ateneo, sa high schools, we have tryouts first,
Yes,
di ba?
yes, Coach.
And then we see who
Yes,
are
Coach.
coming along. But you don't know still what your team is, but you're pretty confident. You like your
Yes, yes,
position
yes,
coming
yes, Coach.
in.
Yes.
And I think now before we close, I think it's a time for you to give you a chance to address the Ateneo community, the
Yes.
alumni, your players, the people who've been supporting Ateneo Eaglets
Okay.
basketball. Coach Joe.
Yeah, first, I'd like to thank number one, the 16 Blue Eaglets for a job well done. Coaches say that it's really them that played on the court. They just listen to the coaches. So you deserve this championship. Next, to our assistant coaches, if it weren't for them, they took the load or they
Yeah.
eased.
Can you name them
Coach John,
individually? Yeah.
Coach Reggie, Coach Paul, Coach Gio, Coach Aris, Coach Marco, Coach Blue. If I miss someone, sorry na lang. Medyo di ako sanay sa TV. Pero to the Ateneo administration, Father Jet, Father Nemi, Mr. Palu of the UAO, to the Ateneo High School, the A-team, Ma'am Jen, Father J-Boy, Sir Ron, Sir Gabi Malilin, the principal, to the Moro Lorenzo staff, thank you sa pagpayag sa amin mag-practice doon every day. And to the rest of the Ateneo community as well. Thank you for your undying support. We appreciated the massive crowd.
Grabe ang cheering.
Yes,
Grabe ang cheering.
And we didn't really know how many people were going, but it was a huge help for our boys. The spirits of our boys were lifted. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. Well, Coach Joe Silva's story is not unlike a lot of the stories that all aspiring coaches go through. You come in, you're full of energy, you really want to do a great job, but sometimes things don't turn out the way you want. You really have only two choices. You either stick it out and fight, or you say, this is not for me, and you just go and do something different. Coach Joe stuck it out. He said, I'm going to do things my way, and I'm going to be myself this year. And I think the result was really very pleasant, and it was the result that he's been waiting for the past 3 years. Now is the fourth season. To the young coaches out there, several questions you have to ask yourself. Is this really what I want to do? Can I take the losing? Can I take the other things? By what I mean by other things are, what other people will say outside the team. These are the hard questions you have to ask yourself if you want to coach. If your answer to all those questions is yes, then congratulations. The world of coaching is difficult. Sabi nila, pag nanalo ang team, ang galing ng players. Pag
Yes, Coach.
natalo, ang hina ng coach.
I
di
agree.
ba? That's just the truism in coaching. If you're willing to accept that, then by all means, the world of coaching is fantastic. The returns we get as coaches is tremendous, whether it's from a professional standpoint or from a national team standpoint or a high school team standpoint. The satisfaction we get from winning is fantastic. But most importantly, and I think the one thing that we will end the show on is the impact that you will make to the lives of these 16 men that you have coached. I think this experience they will take with them for the rest of their lives, and in the end, you and I can rest on the fact that we have contributed, maski na sa maliit na bagay, towards our players being better persons and being very productive members of society. I think in the end, that's the story of every coach, especially in the high school and collegiate ranks, when you really have a direct influence on molding and forming men for the future. We'll see you next week here on They Call Me Coach.
Remember, when they isolate, turn your head to the ball.
What it's like joining international
That's the most
competition.
important part. You never quit.